Good morning, everybody. This is Nicholas Teo from CMC Markets here in Singapore. Just a few things to actually highlight. Last night, the EIA Department of Energy weekly numbers came out. Market was going for a 1.5 million barrel bill. It came out with a negative $3.88 million draw. Oh, sorry, 3.88 million barrels draw. Now, what happened on the back of this? Traditionally, it would set prices off in terms of crude, but instead what we saw was a big reversal. It jumped up, and by the end of the day, it closed actually somewhere where it opened, forming like a shooting star sort of a formation down here. Now a shooting star would traditionally set off a reversal kind of a move, and it'd be interesting to see where it trades from here on. There are so many influences to crude, mainly geopolitical and obviously the supply and demand picture. But from a pure chart point of view, this looks like it could reverse. If it does so, this would be the first support level for it to test around the $57 level. Alternatively, if this will have momentum again today on the upside, then we may see it test last night's high of around 861.85, possibly breaking through. Bear in mind though, this whole move down here that we have seen, or this complete move from around the low 40 levels, we're up to around here, around the 60 levels or so. Essentially, it's almost a 50% move up, and it's moved very gracefully, if you may, over this period of time, which clearly is somewhat of a stealth rally as the world's attention centered on other things. But basically at this level, we should see that a bit of money perhaps should be taken off the table. The other big story down here has been on the Chinese place. This is a chart of the China A50's May contracts. We've seen this try to break this high over the last few sessions or the last few weeks or so, and we've not seen a little bit of a momentum pushing through. This big red candle followed by this sort of uncertain trade is actually something to watch for. This level here of around 13,500 is actually a key resistance. It could trade on either side of this, and as we see in this morning open, we're not seeing a little bit of a move, any major movements on either side, because traders are generally still uncommitted down here. The last few sessions of equity markets pullback clearly may cause some nervousness down here. One of the shares or one of the components in that indices will be some of the Chinese Airlines shares. We've highlighted this in our morning brief today. We've seen this big push up in airline stocks, and essentially I would have guessed that they basically led the big push in Chinese equities since the beginning of March right through to the end of April. This whole thing looks like an island reversal again. We've seen this hanging around here for actually quite some time. Essentially there's a lot of air in between, no pun intended, and these airline stocks were first initiated up because of the price of oil, and price of oil coming off, basically price of oil coming off, essentially you are seeing a situation where they are able to report better profits because Chinese airlines don't hedge their fuel cost bill. As such, they see the full benefits at a much faster rate than some of the airline stocks like SIA or Cathay, who hedge their oil going forward. So essentially they managed to benefit from that. With oil's pullback, or rather with oil's rise, for example, the last 2 months or so, we've seen that fuel charges or that energy cost on their P&L essentially narrowed again. So I don't think the market has really factored that in yet. Valuations for some of these airline stocks still remain fairly cheap and reasonable, but this rise here, as we've highlighted, is not so much because of valuations, but it was purely because of liquidity that came in and washed the market for for a brief period of time, and it looks to perhaps settle down here. Interesting to see where they go from here. A bit of pullback is not unexpected, and in view of the big moves that we've seen. Markets have just opened, not much action.
Japan in particular is off slightly, and don't forget they have been on a break for the last 3-4 days or so. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen. Thank you very much.